Friends, thinkers, citizens of conscience, I stand before you today to speak of one of the oldest and most tragic patterns in human history. It is not the pattern of war, nor of famine, nor of natural disaster. It is a more intimate, more deliberate, and more revealing crime. The pattern of a group coalescing, not to build, not to protect, but to systematically harm one innocent person for a single, unforgivable act. Speaking the truth, we must look this phenomenon directly in its many faces. It is the whistleblower in the corporation, ostracized and sued into oblivion. It is the dissident in the authoritarian state, disappeared into a prison cell. It is the child in the schoolyard, bullied, being different. It is the community member shunned for exposing a hidden abuse. The scale varies. The architecture of cruelty remains the same. A person, armed only with a fact, a principle, a fragment of undeniable reality, stands alone. And facing them, a group, committee, a clique, a mob, an online horde assembles not with arguments, but with weapons of character assassination, social exclusion, professional sabotage, and sometimes physical violence. Why? Why does this happen? We must dissect this malignancy if we are ever to build an immunity against it. First, the truth is often disruptive. It shatters comfortable illusions. It threatens established hierarchies, lucrative arrangements, and cherished myths. The group, a corporate board, a political party, a social circle, has often built its identity, its power, and its stability upon a certain narrative. The truth teller, by uttering a simple, verifiable fact, becomes a wrecking ball. They are not attacked for being wrong. They are attacked for being dangerously right. The group's reaction, not correction, but demolition. It is easier to destroy the messenger than to dismantle the flawed fortress you inhabit. Second, the group provides both anonymity and amplified power. The individual conscience is a formidable thing. It feels of guilt, the pang of empathy. But the group conscience can be diluted to the point of non-existence. Within the mob, personal responsibility evaporates. Actions are diffused. Everyone is doing it becomes both justification and absolution. The collective voice is louder, the collective fist heavier, and the individual member feels a terrifying, intoxicating liberation from moral restraint. They are no longer John or Maria. They are part of a we, and that we has decided that the truth teller is the enemy. Third, harming the truth teller is the ultimate act of group cohesion. Sociologists call this scapegoating. A community experiencing internal stress, fear, or guilt often unites by finding a common target for its negative emotions. The truth teller is the perfect candidate. By making him the source of all tension, he's the one who disturbed our peace. The group achieves a dark solidarity. Their shared secret is no longer the hidden corruption or the unspoken lie. It becomes the shared persecution of the one who named it. Their bond is forged in the fire of collective cruelty. Fourth, and most insidiously, the attack on the truth teller is an attack on truth itself. The mob understands, instinctively, that the credibility of the message is tied to the character of the messenger. So they must not just silence the message, they must destroy the messenger's humanity. They paint the innocent as malicious, the honest as self-serving, the brave as insane. They dredge up past mistakes, twist words, amplify minor flaws, all to create a new, grotesque narrative. This person is not a truth teller. They are a troublemaker, a liar, a traitor. If they can make the world doubt the person, they hope the world will ignore the truth. This is where we, the witnesses, the bystanders, the silent majority, face our moment of choice. For the mob relies on our complicity, it counts on our fear, it banks on our rationalizations. It's not my business. He should have been careful. There must be more. The story. Every averted glance, every uncomfortable silence, every shared piece of gossip adds another brick to the wall encircling the innocent. Therefore, my call to you today is not merely to pity the truth teller, but to become counterforce, to form a different kind of group. We must be the group that gathers not to harm but to protect, not to silence but to amplify. How do we do this? We must cultivate a fierce loyalty to evidence over comfort. We must train ourselves to greet disruptive truths not with a reflexive flinch, but with the sober question: is this factually correct? If it is, our obligation is not to shoot the bringer of bad news, but to address itself. This requires intellectual courage, a virtue we must champion in our homes, schools, and workplaces. We must reclaim our individual moral agency within the crowd. When the tide of collective hostility rises, we must be the ones to say, "I will not participate. This is wrong." To stand beside the targeted person, even if only in spirit at first, is to drive a wedge into the monolith of the mob. It gives others permission to doubt, to step back, to dissent. One voice of reason can break the spell of unanimity. We must build institutions that shield the whistleblower, celebrate the dissenter, and protect the vulnerable. Laws are essential, but so are cultures. We need newsrooms that protect sources, companies with truly anonymous reporting channels, communities that value integrity over blind loyalty. We must design systems that assume the truth teller will come and make it safe for them to do so. And finally, we must remember history. Look at the pantheon of human progress. In every field, science, politics, ethics, art, advancement has been carried forward on the shoulders of individuals who stood against a hostile consensus. Galileo, Solzhenitsyn, Gandhi, countless unsung heroes. They were all, at one point, that one innocent person being harmed by a group for saying a truth the group refused to hear. History's judgment is clear. It vindicates the persecuted, not the persecutors. The mob is always, eventually, on the wrong side of history. So let us redefine what it means to be part of a group. Let our collective identity be rooted not in who we exclude, but in what principles we include. Let our shared power be used not to enforce conformity, but to guard the space for courageous honesty. To the truth teller, wherever you are, suffering in silence or standing in the storm, we see you. Your voice, though alone, echoes with a future reality that the mob cannot yet comprehend. Your courage is the candle in the collective darkness. It may flicker, but it cannot be permanently extinguished, for it is fueled by the very substance of reality. And to the group forming with malicious intent, know this: your unity is fragile, built on the shifting sand of a lie. Every act of cruelty is a confession of your fear, and the world is waking up. We are no longer willing to be your silent accomplices. We are forming our own group, a fellowship of the willing, an alliance of the empathetic, a community of conscience. We will be the wall that protects the lone voice. We will be the amplifier for the inconvenient fact. We will be the living proof that while a group can do great harm, a different kind of group inspired by truth and bound by courage do even greater good.